Lagos State House of Assembly on Monday suspended the chairman of Alimosho local government area, Jelili, Sulaimon, indefinitely. And at the plenary, the lawmakers resolved that the vice chairman of the council, Akim Elu Johnson, should take over running of the local government's affairs. The House further instructed the management of the council, including the manager and treasurer, to recognize the authority of the vice chairman and accord him all the support to make him work effectively. The chairman was suspended in a unanimous vote by the lawmakers over an alleged non-compliance, defiance, and unyielding attitude to the legislative house. Yes, this story also had reports of rascality in the part of the said suspended chairman, local government chairman. He was involved in a brawl that even someone passed away, someone lost his life, and was invited over and over to the house, and he refused to come to accept that invitation, and it has all culminated to his being suspended indefinitely and the vice chairman taking over. Do we see it as, does he have the right to go to court concerning this, or was the stance of the House justified, sir?
Yes, you see, in a federated state, laws of states differ from the other.
Yes, sir.
Now, of course, but there is a big lacuna in our legal system, in our laws here. Now, this man is a local government chairman that should be autonomous.
Yes.
That do have his own legislative house, which is the councillor.
Yes.
Who should suspend or impeach him.
Yeah.
Now, these people have not said anything. An assembly is doing that on behalf of these people. So, so you see, the question would be, what is the duty of the councillors?
Exactly. I was about asking that question.
So what is the duties of the councillors? I think that where he is supposed to submit himself to would be the councillors.
Do they have such power, sir?
No. So why do we have councillors? Okay. Why? The problem we have is, you see, why people are insisting on total local government autonomy. For people to begin to respect that. Imagine that the governor of Lagos State is being suspended by the House of Assembly. I mean, House of Reps or National Assembly. What will he say of that? People should know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not a lawyer, even though I have said in many forums that I don't miss being a lawyer. And I tell you that I don't miss being a lawyer. If there, when we were growing up as secondary school, in those debating societies, yeah. I used to come up very, very well, and if you are doing well in social or arts, the villages will say you're going to study law. I don't know whether you know. Then if you're doing well in biological sciences, you're going to be medicine or then engineering. Those are the only thing I count in the four things that my village and my father insisted I should go do law. And they asked me to write law as JAMB. Thanks, not now that JAMB has gone, ICT. Yes. Then you could pick two forms. So they picked their form and filled for me. I went and picked political science and filled for myself. Because it's not a place of pride, it's a place of passion. Yeah. I wanted to have a theoretical background, having the privilege of going through the theoretical class into this very harsh area of practical politics. And I knew I was going to be doing that. And so I don't miss that. But that is not also to say that I shouldn't be aware of my country and now say this is what should have happened. Yeah. I think for me is an overturn. They are taking too much of their powers. I am not saying what the man did or didn't do is right, but shouldn't you have? I would have said that the legislative assemblies should have called on the assembly, national assembly, and give them impetus to do whatever.
Have there been any case at all?
In the recent times,
okay,
maybe not. I know that during KCKJ and all of that, one of those times I was a very little child, but I was very conscious politically because the SDP chairman, of my local government, I was the PA. So even there was secondary school, university, and all of that. So I was a little bit unconscious. But I know that KG was sweating from one world to the other, going to lobby the assemblies and the councillors from what a threat. Not even that they're going to impeach him. That means that they knew something. And if you notice, the councillors then, people will elect the councillors because they are male who. But this thing happening is almost looking at the councillors as boys who wouldn't do anything. They are only there. That's why the councillors are at the mercy of the chairman. You'll be shocked. I think that an assembly, I have said in many places, and I've told people I'm going to write a book on that. I said the beauty of power is the ability to hold and withdraw to exercise. And the excellency of power is the capacity to even exercise and authorize others.
Legislate, delegated legislation.
Delegated legislation. So if you say, look, if you summon the councillors, as the councillors come, you're not doing your duty. Go and do your duty. Do you know what? You are training them. You're giving them a training ground. So I would have seen a situation where assemblies are evolving from the council and the House of Reps are evolving from the assembly. So they are well versed in the legislative matters. But you see a councillor goes out, he doesn't even know what happens in the council. His own go beggarly and take his salaries and go, and the man is earning his salary. So it's a total waste of funds. And so the assembly should initiate to let out, because they have a lot of field to legislate on who shouldn't have, and then there should be some concurrent list between the state and the local government. That's why I still call that. But in spite of that, we will not use that to now remove what the man has done or hasn't done. But of course, if they have summoned him and they have not impeached him, they now said suspended him, for doing that. That means in the period of suspension, he has a right to go to court. It doesn't matter what they think. So the man can approach the court and said, you do not have right, or you have right. I didn't come because you are not my legislators that should summon me. Exactly. You don't need to summon me. We are colleagues. We can go. You're not summoning me. Why are you summoning me? Yes, the local government could be a creation of the state assembly, just like the state is a creation of the national assembly. So the national assembly cannot absorb the power, except in a situation where the assembly here is not there. So the national assembly cannot begin to legislate until we elect them. So I think people shouldn't just acquire power and begin to take all the powers they would not want to release, because it's not a good thing. And if you notice what has been happening in Nigeria, there's a case I'm going to mention here.
Okay, sir.
Yes, that case is in Okachukwu or something. Okachukwu was the GM of NNPC then, the former GM. And he has very good contact, excellent contact with the president, which was good luck. And so he did a memo. That memo took almost the powers of the Minister for State to the office of the GMD. And then Buhari came and made him the Minister for State. So he was not begging for power. So you see people will do things at a lower office or an office. So they go higher. People will rubbish a senator, and then they now go as governor and they become senator and want governor to not see them as such. You did it in the first instance. Did you respect? There used to be a time in 1979. Do you know that in 1979 to 1983, that someone was removed as governor because he couldn't come to wait for a senator? He couldn't, because he was the majority leader of the Senate. That he couldn't come to the airport to wait for him. So the protocol then was that it was purely Obasanjo, that knowing that the coming together of the first senators wearing from him, and that he did not have grip of those Senate, and so he then went and parried the governors and made them so strong that so he was that discussing with the governors and all of that, and not told the governor, after all, I will give you power to nominate who is going to come for Senate in the first instance, especially in our party. And so the governors became so powerful. But that is not supposed to be so. We have the executive, the legislative, the state is another state. So the senators, I used to tell somebody, of course you know that the Senate president is the number 3 citizens of this country.
Yes.
And he's representing senators. Yes. So if I'm a senator and I'm here and the Senate president is not here, I'm representing the Senate president. And so the governor should give me that respect. Yeah. So, but you see, they have bastardized that. And now, you now go back and you see today that at least 30% of the senators were governors. Yes. And so they now need that power. It's left them. So it's always like that. So what goes around comes around. So if you are an assembly member, call on your this thing and say, look, dissolve some powers. We don't have a right to this thing. So that the chairman will begin, you will see the government, the councillors will rise. If you give them power.
Sir, why does the local government autonomy not
independence? But if you're also not independent economically,
okay,
you will be dependent on politically, you will compromise. So you see that the substructure will begin to determine the superstructure.
Exactly.
That's just what happens. And the thing is, we have a value, that's a little bit not okay, this value. So our value is on the man who is giving it. That is why you see, have you not seen that as the legislators will go on campaign, campaigning for election, and the legislator will be talking about road, water, and all of that, and as if that is his duty, because he knows that if you begin to say, I'm going to do legislation on this and that and that, the people won't understand it. They want to hear those who will bring them electricity, those who will give them something. So right now that the autonomy thing has started with financial, he who pays the fare takes the tune.
Exactly.
Now that autonomy is beginning to do with it, that means that your budget will be approved by you so the autonomy will now begin to trickle down to that. Okay. You will now begin to see a situation where the assembly somebody will go for assembly for 2 terms and all of that and go back as local government chairman, because they know where the thing is coming from, my brother. So that is what is happening. But it's going to start. It has started from financial autonomy, and ideally it's going to start. But even the financial autonomy is not well defined. I can tell you, when somebody says you have a financial autonomy and then at the end of the month you wait for allocation, I said any idiot can distribute wealth.
Okay.
But the difference is creation of wealth. Deuteronomy, even though some pastors, I don't want to say that, have bastardized that preaching to be, he said, God said, I give you power to make his creation. So when God gives you an opportunity to be somewhere, he's saying, in this opportunity I've given you, I've given you wisdom to create wealth for the people. That's what he's saying. That's what God is saying. I've given you power. I've given you that enablement, that blessing to be able to create wealth. And so if we don't have resources that are being created via you, anybody can be local government chairman. But that as soon as a financial autonomy is trickled down to where you no longer have resources coming from anywhere, so you have to create your resources. I will tell you that in an election you will see 2 persons contesting for local government chairman, because it has to do with creativity. And I know it's going to happen soon, and some of us, that's when we will now begin to go for elections. Because it's not about what you are doing, it's about creativity. But if it's just bringing money, that's why you see the man can be a local government chairman in a local government and he's residing in Port Harcourt. And then waiting for the only time you see his office is when it is time for Jack. The man collects the money and then distributes it, and then so everybody can come to his house. But when you need to create wealth, you have to be. The Bible says, as there were golds found in the streets of Jerusalem, because Solomon has wisdom. It's not like golds. It's not like you found gold. It's because the creativity have given birth to competitiveness. People are beginning to bring out their best to be able to do something, and so you will see that the man who has a provision store, will be seen as major stakeholders in the local government. You can't just go and harass him. But you see this, they can harass and do anything because there is allocation coming. It's a ridiculous creation of the lazy people. It's lazy mind.